Hello and welcome to the Studio Nora podcast. This is episode number 17. If you don't know me, my name is Nora and currently I'm living in Amsterdam, although that will soon change. And I am a knitter and a sewist and a all-around chaotic creative person. And I live here in Amsterdam with my husband, our cat, and our son. And for the people who have been here from the beginning, we are back in my studio. My studio has never been this tidy ever, so I'm going to show you around. And it's never been this tidy ever because we are selling our house and we had the pictures taken a couple days ago, so it had to be neat and tidy and most of all empty looking, which is not my favorite state because I like stuff. I like my stuff, and I don't like other people touching my stuff, so it's been a wild ride. But we are back with a new podcast because I was done waiting for the perfect opportunity, which will never present itself. So we're just gonna go with an imperfect opportunity. If you have been here before, welcome back. It's great to see you again. It's been a long time, and as you can tell, I'm kind of rusty. But I'm very excited to show you all the things I've been up to. I follow a fairly standard podcast format. Usually I begin with some finished objects, then I have my works in progress, some acquisitions, and I'm probably gonna end with a little studio tour, because when it's this tidy I have to show it off, I think. And for those interested, there will be a little update on how our little boy is doing. Although he is not very little anymore. Well, he's never little because he was born quite big. But he is 7 months now, so time flies. Alright. So let's start with my first finished object, which is a test knit that I did from Anna from the Bluebird box. She has a podcast, but she's mainly a knitting designer, and it is the pure top. Let's see if I can show you. Well, not very well, so I just have to. Ooh, you can see the mirror as well. It's a boxy cropped oversized top. I knit the size 4 in Sandnes Garn line, and the color, I can't remember the color because it's all numbers, but basically it's cornflower blue. I knit size 4. I really loved knitting this pattern, but if I were to knit it again, I would size down because it is written with quite a lot of positive ease, and I went with my full bust measurement for that. But I am currently nursing still my son, so my full bust measurement is quite full. So I have a lot of positive ease, and I think compared to the rest of my torso, which is kind of back to what it was before, slightly softer than what it was before, but that's fine. I think the size down, so the size 3, would be better for next time. I really like this yarn. It's a combination of cotton, viscose, and linen, but it is quite splitty, is that the word? I had to lather down quite a bit to pick up like these little loops that didn't quite catch. So it wasn't perfect for me to knit without looking. I'm not that good at it anyways. But with this yarn I definitely had to pay attention. It was my first time test knitting, and I have to say it was quite nice. Anna organized it really well in a sort of mystery knit along with different channels. If you completed the first step, you got put in the next step, and it was great. So if you are looking for a late summer top, I would heartily recommend this pattern. Also, I am quite proud of this pickup that I did for the neck. So let's see if I can show you. So maybe you can see that there's a neckline here that you pick up, and there's one hole in my pickup, but the rest is really neat, and that's the first time I've done such a neat pickup. So I was quite proud of that. So, although there hasn't been much time to record, I have been knitting a lot on this test knit, for one. But I also finished other projects. Okay, I have my notes on my lap. Sorry if you can hear my chair moving. I like to roll around. So I finally finished these vanilla socks, all blocked and good to go. There's 2 of them. They are in opal sock wool, and I think the name was Under the Sea, Ocean, something like that. And they're done. And I haven't worn them yet because I wanted to show them in their best state. I was wondering. Yes. So I don't know if you have the same thing or not. Are these equal? Or did I make 2 different socks? I think I did. That's odd. For one reason or another, this seam is longer than this seam. But what I wanted to talk to you about is, so when I always knit cuff down socks, and then you do a knit 2 together and a slip slip knit for the decreases. And I should have written down what I was doing, but anyways, for the knit 2 together, I always get this really neat like edge that doesn't show any holes. And then for the slip 2, like I don't know what I did here. Could you not overexpose? But it's like, it's very holy, this line. And this one is fine. I don't know what I did differently. I mostly knit these while I was pregnant / when I had just given birth. So I don't know what my head was doing, but they're different, but they're done. And I'm gonna wear them now. Very happy with these. Then I also showed you last time I recorded, I don't remember when it was, but last time I recorded, I told you that I had dug out an old WIP, the Rift Tee by Jacqueline Cieslak, this one, and it's done. I kind of had to, oh wait, I'll put it on for you. Hold on, because it's really nice. Da, 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 da. Also, an oversized cropped t-shirt, but I really like it. There's shaping in the shoulders, and I couldn't figure out how to do that with the stripes. I don't think I could do it with the stripes anyways, so I just made the top all white, and there's really nice shaping, and I'm very happy with it. I couldn't figure out which size I set up. I just kind of wang it. I just made something up to finish it. I'm very happy with it. I've been wearing it a ton. It's great for teaching over some high-waisted jeans or skirts or under dungarees. And it's nice and airy because it's half cotton, half wool. And I'm very happy with it. And it only took like a couple hours because I was basically finished with it already. Alright. What else did I? Ooh, I finished this sweater for my son. I don't have any pictures of it. And you would think that because I knitted for a year, like 12 to 18 months size, of course he already fits it because he's humongous, and he's already been wearing it because the beginning of August, like for 2 or 3 weeks, it was just raining and it was cold. So that was a good opportunity to wear sweaters, not complaining. And the great thing is that he has worn that sweater with short sleeves underneath it, and he did not complain about the wool. So that leads me to believe that he doesn't mind the wool. And it wasn't super itchy, but it wasn't like very soft superwash or anything. So I'm hoping that he doesn't mind wool, and it has motivated me to knit more sweaters for him. I just need to decide on a pattern. Other things I made is, so you haven't seen anything of, well, you've seen the wool, because the wool is the Highland base from Ginger and Thyme. Ginger and Thyme. She is an indie dyer, and I bought this wool for her from her. It's called Frozen. And okay, so you know the Tolsta Tee pattern by Rebecca from the Crea Bea knitting podcast. And the Tolsta Tee is a summer tee pattern, but for some reason I had in my mind that I wanted to use this wool to make a summer tee, even though it's Highland wool. Which, you know, in hindsight, I should have known that it was not going to be a summer tee because it's 100% wool. But it has become a sweater. And I love it. I really love it. So I just followed the pattern, but instead of short sleeves, I just knit the sleeves straight down. I did a very quick decrease round, and I knitted a 2x2 rib, and I also did a 2x2 rib at the bottom. I still have to weave in all the ends. I still have to block it, but I finished it last night. I'm so happy. I did do a sewn bind off, and I'm very proud of it. Well, that's not the best side. Okay, look at it. Oh, there's yarn sticking in it, but I think it's beautiful. Sewn bind off on both arms, sleeves, and on the bottom. I did rearrange the stitches from 2x2 to 1x1 rib, and then I did a sewn bind off, and it took a lot of work, but I really love it, and I'm very excited to wear it in our new house because we bought a house, but more on that later. So I made a whole sweater, and I'm very happy with it. I knit the size 4 because usually I just fall into size 4 with my bust measurement. I did not gauge swatch because I was fairly confident that it was going to fit anyways. I knit them on 5mm needles as prescribed by the pattern, and I did the cuffs on 4mm needles. It's also why it went so fast, because 5mm needles just fly by. You might be able to spot, I don't think so, but I did the yoke in one skein, and then I realized that I was gonna that the skeins were not all the same, obviously, because they're hand dyed. So then I did helical knitting on the rest. Didn't quite work out because the last sleeve that I did, this sleeve from about here, is just one skein. Can we see the difference? Not really. Well, anyways, so I couldn't helical knit the whole thing, but most of it, and that worked out fine because I cannot see where the little slip stitches are, so very happy with it. I used nigh on 4 skeins. I have a teeny tiny ball left, so that makes me very happy because I don't have major leftovers, and that means that the sweater cost me, it's 18 euros a skein, so let's say 20, 40, 60, 80. Still quite an expensive sweater, right? 80. So it's like 72 euros. Oh, that's a lot of money. But it's a lovely sweater. Highly recommend Ginger and Thyme. She dyes up some really cool colors. Da, 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 da. Oh, and it's non-superwash, which I really like. Very happy with this sweater, and the pattern is great. The directions are very clear. It is a very you really have to read the pattern. It's a very wordy pattern, but that's okay. It's very clear, and there's a whole separate document with all the modifications possible in the tee, because the test knitters, they did a lot of like, some did lace patterns or with different colors or strike one, or there's a lot of fun to be had there. Okay, I finished more. So a couple months ago at this stage, me and my friend Kim, we went to the sewing day, where you just bring your machines and there's a space and you just sew together with a whole bunch of people, and there's lunch and we had dinner and it was really nice. And I made a whole thing. You've seen this fabric before. I made Yanta Overalls, but then the shorts version. And I'm really pleased with them. I've been wearing them to death. It is great for summer, just running around with a baby. Let's see. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And I lined the bib with some fun fabric. This is a Katia recycled canvas. It's a print, so it's not the weave, because the inside is just plain. It's a print, and I thought it was just so fun, so I made overalls, or dungarees, I guess. They're called the Yanta Overalls, but I would say these are dungarees. What's the difference? I added a little cute AF label, and very happy with them. I made a size 12, which gives me plenty of room because my hips are not very hippy. Basically I'm wider up, a lot wider up top than at the bottom, and size 12. And I lengthened the bib and the back with 5 centimeters because I'm quite tall. And I like the bib to like really go over my boobs, because otherwise I feel conspicuous. And it was great. I added black dungaree hardware, which really complements the whole thing, I think. I've also sewn like a lot of over it alls from Waves and Wild for presents for friends who are having babies, and a couple for Olivier, but I don't know where those are and I haven't made pictures and stuff. So I'm sure that there's things missing in my finished objects pile, but that's okay. Let's take a sip. Oh, you might also be able to see my leggings that I fit once again. They're really fun. They're like waves. They are actually the Avery leggings by Helen's Closets Patterns. I really like them. All right, on to works in progress. Well, I wrote down one work in progress yesterday. That's no longer a work in progress because I finished my Tolsta Tee. So that leaves me only really one active WIP. Well, I guess this one is in between. This is handspun yarn that I made. As we are tidying up our house because we are moving, I had to not get rid, but put a lot of stuff in storage. One of those things is my spinning wheel, Gwendolyn. And then a friend messaged me and she said, my mom took a spinning course. Can she borrow your wheel for a little bit to try out? I was like, yes, perfect. I'll bring it over. But there was still some yarn on there, some singles, so I had to ply it up. And I think, look at it. Like, it's not perfect, but it's really fun. So I still have to like wet finish it and stuff, which I will do at some point. But I was thinking that it's not like, it's too little for a whole anything. But I think it could be very fun in like a little color work on a hat or a sweater or something. So that's like, I don't know what it's classed at, but it's sort of, it's off the wheel, but it's not anything yet. It's an in-between work in progress, I guess. The other thing I've been working on is I have 3 friends / family members who are expecting a little baby, and I said I'll knit you all a Selma Sleep suit, the same one I knit for my boy. And I was like, I have all the time in the world. And in July I was like, well, I'll still have months because the first one is only due on August 5th. And I was like, it's the end of July. Oops. So I've been knitting like crazy. Baby is already born, but I haven't been able to visit yet, so hopefully I'll finish it in time. But it's, you know, I have a body, there's a hood, there is a leg, and here's little arms. I made buttonholes with yarn overs. There you go. I'm knitting it up in Drops Air in the sage color. Funnily enough, I let all 3 pregnant ladies pick a color from all the colors, and they all picked sage, which is great because then I can just like, you have to buy a little less yarn because I know how much I used for Oh the Fierce one, which was 4 skeins and a little bit, so that is easier if you make more of the same. And it's going swimmingly. It's pretty boring really because it's all just garter stitch back and forth, so it's only knit stitch, and there's minimal shaping, but it's a great gift because I know how much I used mine for our little boy in the winter, so it makes me very happy to be able to make that for my friends and family. So that's my one active WIP at the moment. I did make a swatch for the Moby sweater in, what is it, woolly knit British from the cones, and I really like the texture of the swatch. Like, it's great yarn. The only problem is I cannot read it. Like, I cannot count how many stitches there are, or where they are, or anything at all. Am I in focus? Good. I hope I'm in focus. So that makes me think that the Moby sweater and this yarn are not a great combination because I can't read anything. So I'm not gonna knit the Moby sweater in this yarn. I will find a different yarn. But what is quite exciting is that I told you last time that through like 3 connections, a knitting machine found its way to me. It's really cool. I don't have pictures because I have picked it up. It's in my possession, but it's currently in storage and I cannot reach it. So I will pop in a picture of the model. It's a pretty cool model because it is semi-computerized and it can knit patterns in 2 colors by itself. Well, you have to do the physical, like manual labor, of course, but you can program it to do stuff, which is really, really cool. So I was thinking that I can just use the cones to knit my husband a sweater in that yarn, on that machine. And I'm very excited to, once we have moved, to set up my new studio and make a place for the knitting machine. Okay, I feel like I'm rambling. Is it even recording? Oh, thank goodness it is. Yeah, so those are my WIPs. I'm really itching to cast on new socks. I'm staring at my sock yarn right now. I have a really fun DK sock yarn that I might use, but I also bought some cool stuff. Yeah, so we kind of landed in our acquisitions thing. I acquired a couple things, even though I don't want to be spending too much money right now, because buying a house is very, very expensive. And it's, of course, the house is expensive, right? But that's to be expected. But what I did not expect is that everything surrounding the act of buying a house is expensive. Like realtors and builder, not what is it called, like inspections of the new house. And to get a mortgage we had to have our house appraised and the new house appraised, and like everything costs, like everything starts at €1,000. Just that's the lowest amount, and then everything is so expensive. But I did treat myself over the course of a couple months to some yarns. The first yarn is Sandnes Garn Peer Gint. I don't know what I wanted for it, but I saw the blue specs and I bought 3 balls, and I either will knit myself a hat or I knit Olivier a hat, but just the flex, like, look at it. Those are my colors. So I have 3 balls of this. Don't know what to do. If you have any recommendations for this yarn, would be cool. I did see that you can also use it for the Moby sweater, but that would be one for me because this is not really my husband's color. Then I bought some yarn in an update of, is she Amsterdam based? She's Netherlands based, but I'm not sure if she's Amsterdam. Maybe it's on here. Anyways, you might be familiar with Olivia and Oliver Fibers. Of course, I'm partial to the name. But Tam, she is a Californian living in the Netherlands, I think. Hand dyed in the Netherlands. And she has a new base because she only did superwash, but now she also does non-superwash. And I bought 2 things. I bought the classic sock, which is superwash. 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon in the color Disco Dip, and you can see why it's called Disco Dip. And then her organic merino is 100% non-superwash fine merino in the colorway Oasis, and I thought this could make a great summer top. 2 skeins fingering. Oh, just look at how pretty it is. Like, whew. Very excited about this. These could be fun socks, fun anything you make with this will be fun. And then also, excuse me. Also, you know that I am a big fan of Studio Solas. Vera makes absolutely beautiful things. And I will start with the least exciting thing, even though they're all exciting. I bought this beautiful BFL Shetland Alpaca DK weight in this beautiful blue. And I was thinking maybe some, like a sweater for Olivier with this as the some colorwork yoke, maybe. I don't know, it's just so nice. I had to get it. The color spoke to me because I love blues. It's 40% BFL, 40% Shetland, and 20% alpaca. Hold on, I have to go open a window because it's very warm here. I hope the noise is fine, but we're just gonna roll with it. And then the exciting thing is this. So Vera came out with a new sock yarn base, which is 70% wool and 30% tencel. And I'll start with the least exciting colors. So I bought all the colors that she has in mini form and this one. So there's this like red rust. I have 2 skeins of this. There's this beautiful like pale pink and like brown, green, gray, and gold. And it's really difficult to capture because it's just so, they're elusive colors, but they're very pretty. There you go. And then the most beautiful thing, and I only bought one, and I should have bought more because it's so pretty, is she did this colorway. Look at it. How cool is that? It must have taken a lot of work because it's all naturally dyed, which usually takes a lot of time, but all the colors are on there, and it's just, it's gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to make yet. It's going to be a new update. Like, these would be super cool socks, but they would also be super cool, like if I had more I could make a really cool shirt. I don't know. It's not like, it's not cuddly soft. It's definitely a bit prickly, but I think it could work like a shirt for me, not for the baby, but it's so nice. I also bought a new pattern book. Which is Contrasts. And I saw this beautiful sweater in it. Let's see if I can find it. There are just gorgeous things in here, and it's Elaine Publishing, so pictures are always great. Yes. Okay, let's calm down a bit. So these are what I've been sort of up to. What I've been mostly up to is just tidying our house, putting things in storage. There wasn't even time to go through everything and decide, okay, we want to keep this, we want to let that go. It was just stuffing things in boxes, and we'll deal with it at the other end. So yeah, major mayhem. But the good thing is, well, you would say that the studio would be tidy, but it has already exploded with me being here for an hour, but that's okay. So as you might be able to see, this is my dress form. That's my sewing desk. I had 2 desks, but we had to get rid of one because it looks better with just the one desk and more space. But yeah, I guess that kind of leads us to some personal updates. So we bought a house. It's not in Amsterdam, unfortunately. It is, I guess in American terms, it would still be in Amsterdam because it's 20 kilometers from where we are living now. But that's actually 5 villages, towns over. It's very close to where my parents live, and I could bicycle to work, which I'm really looking forward to, because right now I have to spend half an hour in traffic every day around the city, and that's not my favorite thing. And it's a gorgeous house. It's from 1911, so it's quite old, and it was actually built, it's the reason we can only like halfway afford it is because it's right next to a school, a primary school. But the house was actually built as the headmaster's residence. So it's like, it's a proper house. Oh, it's so nice. It's a beautiful house. It was on the market for quite a long time, and Martijn showed it to me when I was still pregnant. I was like, no thank you, that's next to a school, I will not do it. But he kept going on about the house, and then eventually we visited, and then I was like, yeah, okay, I want it. And luckily we were able to buy it with a lot of help and a mortgage and all that. But that does mean that we have to sell this beautiful apartment that we live in now. Which is very sad because my husband has lived here for 18 years. And now we're gonna, like, my son was born here, but we're going to move to where I used to live when I just met Martijn. When I met Martijn, we were still both in university, and I was renting, how do you call that? So you know when a building, oh, anti-squatting, is that a word in English? So I was renting my old apartment for very cheap, just to make sure that somebody was living in it, because they were going to tear it down eventually. So I was there for a couple years. I had my own place, which was really nice. And our new house is like 200 meters away from my old house. So that's nice. Right now I'm on summer break, and we're starting again in like 2 weeks. But before the school year starts again, we are going on a holiday to the, oh, what's that in English? So you might be able to notice that my English has not improved over pregnancy, maternity leave, and the holidays, and all the stress that comes with buying and selling a house. The Ardennen. Basically, we're going to the mountains in Belgium, and I rented a cabin for a couple nights, and I'm very excited for it because we are taking like a baby backpack for Olivier, and he loves being in there, and he loves being in the woods, and he loves being in the backpack, and it's just like he just squeals when he's in there, and it's really, really fun. So yeah. I am still planning on relaunching my Etsy shop, but I just need some time to sew up some project bags before I can do that, because relaunching a shop is usually nice when there's something in the shop to buy. And I'm hoping to do that before we move, but who knows? Like, I got a couple project bags cut out and half sewn up, but I just, like, I need some time to sit down and do that. Hopefully this weekend, maybe. What else? That's basically it. I'm just going to show you around my studio a little bit, I think. Be careful of the wonky camera work. If you don't want to see my studio, that's perfectly fine. After the studio tour, I'll put in a little clip of the little boy being an excellent little boy. And I hope to see you soon. Who knows when? Nobody knows when I'll have time again. But I'm actually pretty excited to like edit this and get back into the swing of podcasting. I don't know what I'm gonna cast on next, because I want to cast on everything. But we'll see what I get to do. And I'll update you. Oh yeah. Being a good podcaster, if you like this podcast, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, because my numbers have gone way down over the last couple months, because if you don't do anything, then, you know, nothing happens in analytics and statistics and I don't know what. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you like this podcast, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. This is the door to my studio. And then you come in. Here, oops. Here's the laundry machine. That's me. So, I think you're zoomed into. Here we go. So this is my studio. And that's all the mess from podcasting. So, in my bookcase, we have, that's all my college books, picture frames, and all my knitting and sewing books, patterns, more patterns. Then we have Studio Solos yarn and minis, sock yarn, baby yarn, abandoned project, all my stuff for Studio Nora project bags, more yarns, those are project bags for the shop, my cones, a knitting basket with like extra stuff, more yarn and stuff. Then this is my desk with my puff sewing machine, a Cricut that I don't really use, all my stuff on the wall. So those are all labels, all my swatches, all my scissors and extra bits and bobs. It's my dress form. Actually, I want to show you this. Hope I'm not making you seasick. This is a wooden chest that my grandpa built for his boat, and that's actually his family crest, which is really nice. Then here we have fabrics for me, fabrics for me, fabrics for baby, more fabrics. I think these are all athletic jerseys, more fabrics, works in progress that I just stuck up there. This is a very weird corner. Careful of your head. And this is where all my plants are at the moment. Very cute desk, which will be for Olivier. And then here, more plants, my serger, cords, work bags. And these are all the packing supplies for Studio Nora. More plants, more plants. And up there, that's the real attic. And this is the view. Not bad, eh? So yeah. I hope you like my studio tour. Not very professional, but that's okay. And oh yeah, there used to be a desk right here, a very big one, but we got rid of it for space. So yeah, that's it. Hope to see you soon. Bye.